Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be speaking about my spring TBR. I think I mentioned it a couple times in this video that I am in a reading slump right now, so it's kind of hard for me to get through one book, which is why I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna put all this in just a spring TBR instead of giving myself a time frame, since this is a pretty ambitious TBR that I was trying to do for 1 month. But since I got in this reading slump, I know I'm not gonna complete it, so, and it's completely fine. I feel like a little bit like Euphoria inspired with this sweater, like it's giving me Euphoria vibes, but this is not a Euphoria makeup look. Oh, I also want to apologize because if there's a humming background noise that you guys hear, it is my space heater. I normally shut it off when I record, but we're having like a winter storm right now in New York and it's freezing out, and I didn't want to freeze while doing this video today, so there might be a slight humming. It may be loud, it may be not. I apologize now in advance. Just ignore it. I promise it won't be in my next video. I'll be more mindful. Now on to my spring TBR. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do a full face. I might just try this new complexion technique that I saw on Instagram. This is what it is. It's just like concealer to kind of carve out your entire face. I'm gonna try to do that, and then if I have extra time, because I'm just doing like my TBR list, so I don't really have in-depth details on these books. So if I have more time, then I'll do my eyes on camera as well. If not, I'll save that for another So the reason I'm not doing like a March TBR, I'm not even gonna do a March wrap-up, is because I've been in a horrible reading slump. It has been the worst reading slump ever. Like, I've never experienced a reading slump, and I've heard so many people talk about being in reading slumps and I have no idea what they're talking about, and I didn't even know I was in a reading slump. I just kept picking up a book and not finishing it, and then picking up another one and not finishing it, and just not dedicating the time I used to dedicate to reading anymore. It's been really frustrating. So I'm gonna stop putting like a pressure on myself for this season to get a certain amount of books done, and I'm just going to try in the next 2 to 3 months get through this TBR that I'm gonna say here. I might of course add or take away some books depending on my mood, because I am such a mood reader. So the first book on my TBR is Jones MS6. This is a book I really want to read. I'm also picking it up because I am doing hopefully a full video on Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, because I love her so much. I think she's such an amazing author, and I really want to talk about her books. I think this is how that complexion look going. Yeah, so this is a situation we got going on. So I'm gonna do one side at a time. So Jones MS6, I don't know much about it. I have seen a lot of reviews on it. People say they love the audiobook of this, so I might try to audiobook it, because I do enjoy a good audiobook, and they said like the experience for this audiobook is 100% worth it. So I'm probably gonna do that. But it's about Daisy Jones and her band members, which I believe are the 6. And I heard it's just about like drugs and love and relationships and a lot of just good stuff. The next book on my TBR is another Taylor Jenkins Reid's book. It's One True Loves, and this book I am really excited to read, and I just really want to get out of this slump because I really want to enjoy this book. Like, I've heard such good things about it. This book is about this girl, and she has a husband, and they're like in love, I believe, whatever, and after some time of them being together, I'm not sure how long, he goes missing. He takes a plane and he goes missing. So she grieves his loss and starts moving forward with her life, and then she meets someone else and falls in love again, and then he and her, like, they get engaged, and while she's engaged, her husband actually comes back from his accident. She finds out her husband is alive and is back from his accident, and now she has to choose between her fiance or her husband. So this is going to be a super interesting book. Again, I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I feel like her books are so easy to read and navigate through, so I'm excited to start this one. The next book on my TBR is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like I said, again, I'm definitely trying to get through Taylor Jenkins Reid, like almost all her books, if not all of them, because I am a fan and I really want to do a video on her. I think her books are amazing. So I did get this book from Book of the Month, and it is about this family, I think they like throw parties and stuff. So I'm pretty sure it follows like these siblings in this party, and something happens, and that's all I really know. I don't really know much about this book, but I've heard amazing things about this book as well. And it's also like the kids, I believe they are the kids of one of the characters in Taylor Jenkins Reid other book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, like one of Evelyn's husband. Like these are his kids. So I love like a reappearance of another character. I've been wanting to read for a while. I'm really excited to pick this up. Like this is definitely in my foreseeable future TBR. I am going to get through this book. This book is called That Vanishing Half, and it is about twin sisters. I'm not 100% sure like what their race is yet because I haven't read the book yet, but I know that they are black but white passing. So this is about them, and one of the sisters chooses to live as a black woman and raise her children as a black woman, and then the other, because they are white passing, chooses to not embrace that side and raise her family and live her life as a white passing woman. So I'm really excited to see the contrast between the two different lives. So that really intrigues me about this book. And also I've heard like amazing things about this book, so I can't wait to jump in. And I did just do one eye off camera to save time. So the next book on my TBR is The Golden Couple. This is also another book of the month pick, and this one really caught my eye because it's about this couple. I think the wife cheats and she wants to save the marriage and have it work out, so they seek out counseling from this therapist, who I believe the synopsis says that like she lost her license to counsel people, but she still does it anyways. So I think it's a thriller, maybe a psychological thriller. I'm not 100% sure, but I am excited to read about that. That sounds super interesting. Now the next book on my TBR is The Redemption, and this book is the fourth one in the Filthy Rich American series. I believe there's 6 books in that series. Yeah, there is 6, and me and my best friend are determined to finish that series. So I'm still currently reading the third one, which I'm gonna speak about later on in this video. I'm not sure what this one is. I just know it's a continuation of that series, and I'm enjoying the series. It's not my favorite series. It's an okay series. I had higher hopes for it. Now the next series on my TBR is 100% one I'm going to knock out. I just really hope I get out of this reading slump by the time I knock this out, because I really don't want to hate this book. Like, I've heard amazing things about this book and I really want to enjoy it. This is the Dreamland Billionaires series, and I have book 1 and 2, and I really want to read this, and I really want to be in a great mood when I read this, because this is like up my alley. It's like billionaires, Disney inspired romance, like spicy, like everything I think I'd ever want in a book I think is in that book, and I just really want to have an amazing time reading that book. So the first one is The Fine Print, and again, I don't know much about these books. I haven't read the back. All I know is from like reviews. So I think this is like about a girl, and I think she works like at the amusement park, and the grandfather is kind of the one who gave the guys the amusement park, and he gave them each like tasks that they had to fulfill so that they can get their ownership or their inheritance or something like that. I don't know. I think he's tasked with like coming up with a new idea or something, and she comes up with the idea and he uses it and she helps him like execute it. I don't know, something like that. So I am so excited to read this. I really hope like I can get out of my reading slump so I can jump in and enjoy this book. The next book on my TBR is Terms and Conditions. Now, this book is the second book to the Dreamland Billionaires series. I absolutely can't wait. Like I've said that so many times in this video, but I really can't wait to get into this series. This one I know is about the brother from the first book, and there's gonna be 4 in totals because there's 4 brothers, and in this one like his terms from his grandfather, I believe, like, is that he had to like get married and have a kid before he was able to get his inheritance, and he ends up like marrying his assistant or something like that. So it's one of those which I am excited to read. And this is my book sleeve. This usually holds my books. I'll also show you my other one, which is so cute. I just got this. This is so cute. I mean, I've had this one for a while, but the other one I just got. So I absolutely love this book sleeve. And here are the books I am currently reading. I'm trying to get through them. These I'm having a difficult time. I just feel like I'm in a reading slump, so I just gotta push past. So in here I have 2 books. Okay, so the first book I'm trying to power through and get through is Know My Name, and it's a memoir. And this book is a memoir of this girl. I actually forgot her name. The book is called Know Your Name. About this girl, and it's her speaking up about her experience about her sexual assault. So it's a pretty heavy book, but I really like how it is written. It's easy to read so far, and I am enjoying it. I don't really want to judge anything else on this book because this is her experience and this is her story, and I feel like you really can't judge someone else's life story. The next book I am trying to work my way through is Hook, Line, and Singer. Now this book is the second book to It Happened One Summer. It's about the Bellinger sisters. So the first one's about Piper, and then this one is about her sister Hannah. So I was supposed to be buddy reading this with my best friend, but my best friend flew through this book, and because of the reading slump I am in, I was reading but I wasn't getting anything. Like, none of the words were sticking. And then like I asked her, I was like, hey, is this like book boring or is it just me? And then that's when I realized I was in a reading slump because I literally loved It Happened One Summer. My best friend adored this book. She thought it was great. So I'm like, great, I'm in a reading slump. The next set of books is in my second book sleeves, and this one is like Paris rose themed. So cute. I don't need to see if you guys can see, but like the Eiffel Towers has glitter. It's so pretty. Love this book sleeve. Oh, I just have one book in here that I'm finishing up, and that one is the third book of the Filthy Rich American series. This is The Deception. Now this is the third book in the Filthy Rich American series. That is also a series I am buddy reading with my best friend, and I feel like I'm slowly getting through this book, even though like it is good. It's not my, like I said, it's not my favorite series. It is a good series though. I would recommend, like, it's a solid like 3.5 if you just want to read something. This series is just about like Maris, Royce, and his father, Malcaster, I believe his name is. And to finish off my TBR, I'm going to speak about 2 books that I have on my Kindle. I don't own like a physical Kindle. I just use the Kindle app on my iPad and on my phone. So I have 2 books that I'm finishing up on there. The first one is Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, this is another book I am reading for my Taylor Jenkins Reid video. I'm really enjoying this book. This book follows this girl, and you see her kind of moving back to her hometown after she's like not figured out what she's wanting to do in her life. And when she moves back to this hometown, she runs into her ex-boyfriend, and that's kind of where the story takes place. So the story shows you 2 different storylines. It's one storyline, and okay, so it shows you 2 different storylines in this book, and every other chapter is the different storyline. So you're constantly switching back and forth between the 2 storylines, which in the beginning I thought I didn't like, but I ended up actually do like it. It's pretty enjoyable because you just get used to it, so you easily can follow along. But in one storyline, she goes home with her ex-boyfriend, and then you see how her life plays out when she made that decision. And then on the other hand, in the other storyline, she doesn't go home with her ex-boyfriend, and you also see how that decision plays out. So very interesting. I heard that this ends kind of open-ended, which I'm not a fan of. Like, I like things final, but I did like Verity, and that kind of ended open question. Like, it leaves you thinking about what the truth was. So I'm excited to get to the end of this and seeing how it ends. I'm actually 50% of the way through with this book, and it's kind of been easy to read even though I'm in this. And then the last book I'm trying to finish up with my TBR is Sugar Daddies, and with this book I'm about 40% of the way through. I was reading this in February, didn't finish it, so I didn't add it to my February, but I am adding this to my spring TBR to hurry up and finish this up. So that's it for my spring TBR. Pray for me, please. Hopefully I can get out of this reading slump, but hopefully I can come back with a lot of great books to speak about. So for my March, like I had said before, I am not going to do a reading wrap up. I'm probably going to add those books in and do like a March/April reading wrap up, since we're halfway through the month and I haven't finished not one single book yet. So be on the lookout for that, and until next time,